Welcome back to another episode of Kotlin Bootcamp for Programmers. In this episode, I'm going to talk about the pairs and triples. Pairs and triples are pre-made data types and for 2 or 3 generic items. And they are very useful when you have a function returns more than one value. Most often function returns one value, but when you use pairs or triples, you can return 2 values or 3 values. Now let's talk about how we can create a pair or how we can create a triples. First, I want to create a pair. Let's start with var data types, and I want to make a pair. So let's call this pair 1, and we can after that we can specify the data type. After colon, we can specify the data type. Which one we want? We want a pair data type. As you see, we have pair and we have A and we have B. It means it takes only 2 data or 2 types of data. I wanna use for example Annie, and the second one is Annie. This can specify which data type we want to get for our pairs. For now, you are getting 2 data types of Annie. Annie means anything they can get, for example integer, string, floats, anything. If I specify here string, the first item will be string and the second item will be, for example, integer. If I type it float and the second one as a double, the first item will be float, the second item will be double. Now I want to keep it as Annie, and I will show in the next example how you can change it to string or anything you want. So pair variable pair 1, it is the name of our pair, and the data type here, it is pre-made data class. Our class is pair. It takes only 2 constructor. 2 constructor of like any data type and any data types. And now equal sign, and after equal sign directly you can specify your first item. What is your first item? I want to specify, for example, fishnet, and after the first item you have to type 2, and after 2 you have to specify your second item. Here my second item is catching fish. That means fish is used for catching fish, net is used for catching fish. I means we can store 2 value here and here to 1 pairs like this. And now how we can create like a pair with string and a pair with float data type. I want to create 1 integer data types. Pair 2 is like pair, and the first item should be honey and the second item should be integer. And now again equal sign, the first item will be any type that we want. For example, I want to make it as integer 23, and the second one should be 2, and after 2 again it will take only integer. We cannot type string. As you see, it will get an error. I have to remove this string and I have to type integer, for example this one. Now I can change this first item because that is any. I can change it to string, I can change it to double, or I can change it to character data types. I means I can change it to any data type because that is any. But if I remove this any and type it as an integer, now you will get an error because it will get an integer data type here. I want to change to integer like this. I means like this you can create a pair, and let's see how we can use this pair. This pair is very simple. We can access by their items first or the second. I want to, for example, print Helen, the first item. I want to print this fishnet. How we can do this? I want to create a string, and I want to use double sign and pair 1 dot first pair 1. I want to access this fishnet. pair 1, the first is will get the first one of this pair, and the second one, if you get the second one, you will get the second one like this. For example, you want to use used to or used for. Now the second one, $sign curly braces, and pair 1 dot second. We can access their items by their first, second, or the third parameters. Now if I run the program, you will see like this something. Fishnet used for caching fish. Like this we can store, we can access their items. And also we can create the pairs directly without modifying these pairs. Here it is we declare this, or we initialize this pair explicitly. Even we can remove this one here. Ctrl X, we can remove that, and the Kotlin itself will directly know that this fishnet to catching fish, it is a pair data types, and it will store for that. And even we can remove this one, and they will take the types itself. And now if we run, we will not get an error for that. It means the next time we will not create pairs and then any type. We cannot specify the types. It will get the type for us. And now let's go to the triple, how we can use or how we can create the triple. Triple is also same like this, but we have to use triple. For example, var triple 1 equal. We have to specify the triple data type like we talked about. Triple, it takes 3, pair it takes 2, but triple is the same thing, it takes only 3 data types. I want to make this one as a colon, because this is we specify the types of our triples. And now I want to type the triples, and after triples I will have to specify the data types. I want to specify any, and at the end any. I want to take any data type I want. And after that, here directly I use this fish to catching fish. But in the triple you cannot do that. You have to store that like this. You have to store this constructor, or this you have to use this constructor triple first second like this. Without this constructor you cannot store pairs like this. I means here you have to specify the first one. For example, the first one I want to put a colon like 1, suppose it is an ID. The second one I want to specify a country name, for example India, and the third one I want to specify the country code, for example 91. Like this we can store the triple. Now let's create a second data type. For example, var triple 2 again. Now we can remove this triple here. We can remove this triple here, and directly we can store the triple here. I want to store the triple directly, triple, and the second one, for example the second country, let's specify US here, and the third one, the country code is for example plus 1, or we can specify 1 directly. And let's see now, or you can specify plus 1 inside that plus 1 country code inside this string. Now the same thing we access that pairs, the same thing we can access each and element of these. Now how we can access that? For example, I want to print ln the which one we want to access, first, second, or third. I want to access the third one of triple one dot second. I can access like this, or I can access the like this, triple dot third, or it will print the third element. Like this we also talked about that. But let's talk about how we can access directly. We can also access that triple directly. If I print triples, it will print all of this element as a triple. Now let's see. If you see here, this is the triple. It prints all the elements. Same thing we can print here. Same thing we can print the pair also. If I print the pair, for example, pair 1, same thing we can print the pair also. It will print the first one and the second one with the help of one comma here, comma between. Same thing in triple. It will print all the things. And now we can change this triple to the list and we can print them also. For example, let's say print ln, and I want to change the second one, triple 2, and I want to change this to list, and now we can convert a triple to the list and print them. Let's see how we can print this. And now if you see, now it changed it to the list. It is the list. Like if you see, it is the square brackets. It is now converted to the list and we print that. And now what is the most useful case of this? The most useful case of this pair or triple is when we use a function. For example, I want to create a function. It will return, or this function be pair return pair, or I can say return pair. It is the function name, and it will take a pair. For example, I want to store this one, fetch to pair. I want to store this one. This return pair function will return two data types. Now if I use here, println, and now I can call return pair. It will print as both of that. Like if we use print 1, if I use pair 1, or if I use return pair, it will not change anything. Like this, fetchnet, catching, fetch. And we can store some part of coding. For example, we can do some coding here, and it will return for us as a function. For example, we have to specify here a return type. Then what is the return type? The return type, it is the pair, and it will return any, and the second one is any. We can specify the return type, and now we can return this fetchnet to catching fetch. And now the same thing is here, nothing has changed. Same thing, we can return a function. We can return a triple also. Return triple, and now it takes return type, and after that we have to specify the triple data type. Triple, it takes any, comma any, and the last one, it will return a triple data types. Now let's see, we have created a triple here. I want to copy this one, copy and paste it here. We have the triple. Now I want to return this triple 1. Like this, we can access that triple function also, println, and return pair or return triple. Now we can access that return triple function. Now it means we get triple elements from the one function. By default we cannot return more than value, but if you use triple, if you use pair, we can return 2 or we can return 3 values. And then here return triples, we can access all of these parameters. For example, we can access first, we can access second, we can access the third one, and we can access all of them. For example, I want to access the first one. If you see here, I will get the first one as a 2. So this is the pair and the second, and the pair and the triple. Now we can distract them or store each and every value of these to different variables. For example, this is the first, this is the, for example, this is the ID, this is the country name, and this is the country code. I want to store all of them in variables. How we can store that? First, let's store this one and this one. How we can store that? We can specify by the var, or we can use the val. Now parenthesis, inside that parenthesis you can specify 2 variables. you can specify two variable, tool and the second one used. I means what is the tool? Fishnet. And what is the used for? The second one, catching fish. Now directly I can use that one to store that pair one. If I store pair one, now the first one is tool, the second is used. I means I can use now both of them directly. For example, tool, I can use tool, or I can use this used. I means you can store the pair into the two variables. Now there are two variables, we can store them inside two variables. Now if I print them, we can have two separate variable here. Or the same thing, we can store the triple values also inside that triple values. So keep remember that this order will store this. For example, the first one will come to the first order, the second one will come to the second one. That will store by order. Now I want to store this country. For example, countries like I want to store this India equal, for example, val, and now the first one is ID and the second one is for example country, and the third one is country code. Now I want to store this one as a triple one. I want to store this triple one, or I can store this country information to separate values. We can store like this. Now we can print all of this. Now I can print all of these elements. So I can use I can use string, and inside that string I can print all of them, ID and $sign country and $sign code. Now I can print all of them. I can use all of them as you see here, and here I get all of them. This is it for this video. If you like the video, please thumbs up. If you don't like the video, please comment below the reason, that we can improve ourselves together. And if you're new to this channel, please don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell notification. See you soon on the next video.